Today's video objective is to go ahead and create Object D using SketchUp, the SketchUp modeler. So one of the first things we have to do is looking at Object D is understand that the capital letter A is facing upward compared to some other drawings. So we take a look at that one, see it's facing the reader, that one's facing the reader, and capital A is facing the reader on that one. So what this means is it changes the height dimension. So 2 inches is going to be the height and 1 inch is going to be the depth of the object. So when we start out here, we want to draw a rectangle just like this here. This is the bottom side of Object D. And so I flip back to my modeler here. I'm going to go ahead and delete this person. I'm going to zoom in on my origin point, and I'm going to create a rectangle at the origin point that is 4, 1. Now, I've got this information from my drawing there. It's 4 inches long, 1 inch deep, and that's why I drew that to that size. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a push-pull tool, and I'm going to drag that up to 2 inches in height. So once again, looking back on here, there's my height dimension. Okay. So now we need to go ahead and work on the V shape here, and that V shape is going to go right in here somewhere, but we need to know exactly where. So I flip back to my drawing here. I can see, well, there's a couple things here. The point of this V is what I need to start with, and so I see that it's at the midway point in the height, and I also see it's 1 3/4 of an inch back along that midline, that mid-center line. So what I'm going to do is pick up my tape measure tool. I'm going to click and drag a line here. There's my midpoint, and then I'm going to click and drag one this way, and this one I'm going to go ahead and set at 1.75. Alright, so good to go now. Let's take a look at the drawing again. I see that these little flat spots here, I need to go ahead and indicate where those are, and they're 1/4 inch from the top and the bottom. So I go back to SketchUp, take my guideline tool again, which is the tape measure, and I'm going to drag that down 0.25, and I'm going to drag one up 0.25. Alright, at this point I have all the information I need to draw the V shape. So I reach for my, it's called what, line tool, and I go here to the intersection, and I click a segment there, and then another segment here. That gives me the triangle shape that I want to subtract, and so now I just use the push-pull tool and subtract that away. Alright. Need to do a little cleanup work here, get rid of these guidelines. I need to go under my view menu, show hidden geometry. There is none, but I always like to turn that on. I do want to show back edges here, and that's under edge style. So I want to click that, back edges, and that shows the hidden edges there. So at this point there, you really just need to save this back to a A1D folder and make sure you export it out as a JPEG and submit that to Canvas. Alright, good luck with your modeling.